Tonight on Connecticut's news station, water on the rise. The Connecticut River crests at its highest point as all the water from up north rushes to our state.
No swimming. Hotspots closed off to swimmers because of too much bacteria. But not everyone got the message.
Under arrest, a former Yukon great pleads not guilty to criminal charges. We'll tell you what happened to Ben Gordon inside a Connecticut juice shop.
Plus, TikTok trouble.
I don't sexualize children. That's ignorant.
And we do.
A shocking video on board a CT rail train going viral for all the wrong reasons. The response from this incident on the rails.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we begin here on the Weather Watch in the rising waters across the state. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. For the Fox 61 News at 6, I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Ben Goldman. After the torrential rains and severe flooding up north earlier this week, all of that water is now coming downriver to us here in Connecticut. Spots along the Connecticut River, including what you see right here in Portland, are seeing roads shut down as the river creeps even closer to the shoreline.
And on the other side of the river in Middletown, the water's just about level with the land along Harbor Park, and it's still rising. Our Weather Watch team is keeping you updated. They're keeping you informed this week. Meteorologist Ryan Breton joins us from the banks of the Connecticut River. We'll check in with him in just a moment.
But before we get to that, let's get to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for the latest forecast. And Rachel, not only are we expecting rain, but it is hot out there.
It is, and it will remain hot again heading into the day tomorrow. But yes, all eyes are going to be on rain for later this week because rivers are already running high. And the last time I could find that the Connecticut River flooded like this in July was back in the 70s. And it's the only time I could find it over the course of the last century. That's how rare it is for us to see flooding this time of year. The Connecticut River has now crested in Thompsonville and is in the process of falling in the Hartford area. It's in the process of cresting right now. It could climb another several inches before falling, but the water is still coming up at Middle Haddam and will not crest until tomorrow, likely at moderate flood stage with some road closures. There is a chance for an isolated shower this evening. You're seeing one in Litchfield County. Temperatures are in the 80s to around 90 degrees. We'll see overnight lows dip back into the 70s tonight, and heading through the day tomorrow, we'll do it all over again with high temperatures climbing into the low 90s by afternoon. And then later tomorrow night into Friday, we are once again included this big target on our back in this excessive rainfall outlook, which means locally heavy rain could renew the flash flooding concerns. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on this. But for more on the flooding that is ongoing right now, let's head to meteorologist Ryan Breton standing by live in Middletown, where things, Ryan, will get worse before they get better.
Well, Rachel, you are absolutely right. This is one of the highest crests that we're coming up on of the Connecticut River during this time of the year. And everyone we talk to today, be it a boater, ferry captains, or even farmers, say this is something they have never seen on the Connecticut River during the middle of the summer.
We were able to make one run this morning.
The Chester-Hadlime ferry across the Connecticut River closed in midsummer. Tony Mirabelli is the captain stuck at the dock today.
The main concern is the water gets too high. We can't get underneath the ramp safely to be able to load and unload our cars and our passengers.
Plus, there's stuff floating down the river, trees, branches, chairs, whatever the floodwaters from the north are carrying with it.
They got a lot of rain up north in Vermont, so that's just washing down slowly now, and we're usually at the tail end of it, of course.
The course including fast-moving, murky water and debris, which could be big trouble for recreational boaters.
There's a lot of debris, large trees, stumps, much worse than it was last week.
Brian Shapensky bringing his boat from the mooring on the river into the marina today.
They asked me to bring the boat in because they were worried about the debris damaging boats out there.
At a time of year when people usually plan to be on the water, not stuck on land.
To go anywhere now, it's very dangerous.
Upriver in Portland, the water swelling well beyond the riverbank.
I've never seen it this deep at all, whatsoever.
Nathan Darna checking on the status of Main Street, now a part of the river for a nearly mile-long stretch.
There was a car down here, I think, this morning that got stuck.
An inconvenience for people trying to get around, but a bigger problem for Gada's farm where he works.
All the crops are probably gonna maybe die.
And with more rain in the forecast, even when the river starts going down, crop loss will still be a concern. And back live now on the river in Middletown. The forecast crest, or the highest point the river will get to, has actually been pushed back. It's still going up, and the river is forecast to go up by about another 1.5 feet, and it will remain at the current level possibly into the weekend. So the places that are seeing flooding right now, don't expect that water to drop below what it is now for at least another few days. And beyond that, the river probably will stay pretty high for a while too. For now, we're live in Middletown. I'm meteorologist Ryan Breton, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, several state parks are still closed to swimmers because of a high bacteria presence in the water. But Rocky Neck Beach in Niantic is back open today. However, 6 state parks are closed to swimmers, according to DEEP. Those include Gardner Lake in Salem, Gay City in Hebron, Lake Warramog in Kent, Mount Tom in Litchfield, Squan's Pond in New Fairfield, and Wharton Brook in Wallingford. Officials say Indian Wells State Park in Shelton is closed due to flooding. Some swimmers were disappointed they couldn't go in the water, but in some cases they didn't know the water was off limits today. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane has more from Rocky Neck State Park in Niantic.
The water here at Rocky Neck State Park is closed after high indicator levels of bacteria were found in the water. Now, despite this, some beachgoers say they missed the memo.
There's bacteria, so people should not be in the water.
It's a sign you don't want to miss. Water closed from high levels of bacteria. Some beachgoers at Rocky Neck State Park sped past that sign, heading straight for the water. Others say they would have been swimming if they hadn't been in the right place at the right time.
We would have if we didn't see those people walking out.
The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection tests 21 swimming sites across the state frequently. In salt water, like at Rocky Neck State Park, they test for Enterococcus indicator bacteria. That can cause headaches, fever, abdominal pain, and other symptoms.
Very upset. We brought our floaties and everything today, and we're stuck laying on the beach.
DEEP officials say heavy rainfall can increase bacteria levels. Despite the no swimming warnings, the beach still filling up with people hoping to cool off. Many visitors say there needs to be a better way to show the ocean is closed so no one gets sick.
I didn't see anything posted. Usually, I'll get something.
Maybe audio, loudspeaker somewhere saying that the beach is closed due to contamination, especially with little children.
For a full and updated list on all of the state parks and beaches across the state that are closed, you can find that information on our website, fox61.com. In East Lyme, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Lindsay. Up to our north, finally some relief for people in Vermont as the floodwaters continue to recede. The powerful storms left cities and towns in shambles with dangerously high floodwaters leading to dozens of water rescues throughout the state. Now, as the water levels begin to come down, state officials hope to get a scope of just how bad of shape these storms left the Green Mountain State.
The flooding we've seen is historic. And as waters begin to recede, at least for the time being, we'll be surveying the damage done to infrastructure, homes, and businesses. And again, this may not be over. With rain in the forecast and nowhere for it to go, we could see waters rise again.
Vermont emergency officials say miraculously there were no deaths reported in their state as a result of all the severe flooding.
We're learning more about the death of a man last night in New Britain. Another man has been charged with his murder.
Police say the suspect intentionally hit the victim and another man and then just drove off. Fox 61's Carmen Chow joining us live in New Britain near the crash scene to explain what happened here. Carmen.
And Sarah, it all took place at this busy intersection behind me. Police say it started with a heated argument, which then led to the hit and run. And these cameras outside of this liquor store captured that argument shortly before the man died.
An argument's not worth your life.
Neighbors at the corner of Park and Stanley Streets are shocked a man's life was taken because of an argument late Tuesday night, and it was all caught on camera.
Because now you done took his life and yours, because you're going to jail forever. What is the point?
52-year-old Jose Rios of New Britain appeared before a judge Wednesday morning after he was charged with murder, assault, criminal attempt to commit murder, and several motor vehicle charges. Fox 61 learning Rios had 17 prior convictions ranging from 1993 to 2015. At this time, he was arrested for allegedly running over 2 men on purpose, leaving one of them dead.
He admitted to intentionally driving his car at the 2 victims and subsequently running them over and then leaving the scene.
The victim is 59-year-old Bruce Cody of New Britain, and the other man is expected to be okay. And the arrest warrant, Rios told detectives he has had issues with Cody in the past, but then said, quote, "I feel bad for what I did. No one deserved to die." Surveillance footage from East Side Liquor Outlet shows Rios in the white shirt fighting another man. Cody, who is shirtless, is seen just standing back the entire time. A worker at the liquor store says Cody was a frequent customer of his and he saw him just Tuesday morning.
I feel bad. I feel bad with that. He come every day at my store. Even he come evening time too. And he's a handyman guy. He did a lot of time work in my store, and you know he's good.
Jose Rios is being held on a $2.5 million bond. He's also expected to reappear in court later this month. I'm live in New Britain. Carmen Chow, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Carmen. In South Windsor today, police are investigating a crash. Driver was killed when his vehicle went off the road and then crashed. Now, this happened near the intersection of Nevers and Graham Road. Police say the car had been pulled over earlier in the night for a traffic stop. Police have not yet identified the driver, though, in the crash.
All new at 6, former UConn Husky star and NBA player Ben Gordon has pleaded not guilty to criminal charges after his arrest in Connecticut earlier this year. Gordon was arrested in April at a juice shop in Stamford after police say he was acting aggressively. Police found a folding knife on his person along with a stun gun and brass knuckles in his backpack. A lawyer for Gordon says that he's struggled with mental health following his retirement from the NBA.
Another beloved Connecticut restaurant is suddenly shutting down. The owners at 150 Central in Bristol announced they'll be closing their doors. They're citing numerous reasons for closing, saying they're having a hard time finding staff, plus food costs, the price of everything surging. In a Facebook post, the owners thanked all their employees and loyal customers for the past 10 years of business.